Hey guys, subscribe for daily knife content. And if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and welcome to The Knife Guys, episode 1. I'm sure you guys might notice something a little bit different here today. And that's because I've decided to turn the Knife Guy series into kind of the same thing, but kind of a different thing. I'm joined today by my good friend Ricky. A lot of you guys will remember Ricky from literally 3 years ago at the beginning of the channel. Ricky, what's up, man?
Hello, friends. It is holy crap. It's been 3 years. That's unbelievable.
It has been 3 years. How weird. So, quick backstory. I love your background, by the way, Ricky.
Thank you. It's my classic background. I'm considering changing it just because they've been so slow lately, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah, hey, it looks great. So the backstory here is that I did a video with Jim McNair from KUSA, ZT, and Kershaw, and I was having the hardest time figuring out how to get Zoom to screen record because it wouldn't record the audio, and I figured out, you have to pay for it, or you don't get the audio. So I went ahead and paid for it, and I thought, gosh, it's kind of expensive. If I'm going to do this, I should probably. And then actually, I owe this to Everyday City Carry. Said you really should just keep it and use it and do kind of a podcast thing with your Knife Guy series. So this is actually the start of that. We're gonna see how this rolls. Ricky was nice enough to join me as my first guest, and probably will be a continuously reoccurring guest weekly, because this is going to be this will essentially take the place of the Knife Guy. But he'll probably be a reoccurring guest, and instead of showing our faces, we decided to just do a double tabletop, and Zoom does this fun thing where if Ricky talks, which you can go ahead.
Here I am talking.
It switches to his tabletop, and
it switches back and forth.
Yeah, it automatically switches back and forth.
That is very cool. I didn't realize it was doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure people are watching are like, "Oh, is this gonna go somewhere?" So, anyways, I'm still gonna keep my intro. If you are new to my channel, or you just came out of some weird corner of the internet, Ricky and I are knife guys, knife enthusiasts, knife collectors, knife users, knife enjoyers of many sorts. We are all knife guys and gals in this super weird EDC and knife related world, but oftentimes we all go down our own unique paths, getting thrown off here, but oftentimes those paths intersect, and a lot of us experience a lot of the same stuff. So what I like to do here, and what Ricky will probably also do with me, is pick up knives that are either mine or some of my generous viewers, and flip them, just chat about stuff that we all kind of experience. That's the nice thing about the whole double tabletop thing, is you guys can see both my stuff and Ricky's stuff. So what do you have there, Ricky? Go over what you got.
I'm glad you asked. We have the carbon fiber and Damascus, I believe, Pintail by Civivi. Lauren got me that for Christmas. Very cool.
Nice.
I'm really kind of bummed, not to get off rails already. I'm kind of bummed that Civivi sends out pouches with all their knives and like nobody else does. And even when you spend like 10 times as much. This one I got from you, the BRS Evolve Eon, I believe, the Integral, which is very cool. Yojimbo 2. You're going to have to help me out with this one. It's the Civivi. I can't remember what it is.
Statera. I got you. Did I get you that one?
Yes. Yeah, you did.
Nice.
So you'd think I would remember what it is, but I don't. This is the ZT0393 that Fanatic Edge did. The Civivi Praxis, also a gift from the fiance. And then probably the best knife out here, the donut knife.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's so funny that people have gotten so bent out of shape. Like, some people have gotten so bent out of shape. They're just, I talked about this in a different episode about how people are so upset that that such a serious object has such a ridiculous skin on it. You know what I mean?
I can barely go on Facebook anymore without. That's all I see. There was like at least 2 weeks straight where everybody was just either posting them for 4 times as much as they bought them, or they were complaining about it, and that was it.
I mean, it's just cause and effect, you know, like Boker decides to do this. And I heard, so the story behind it, I guess, is that Blade HQ, like when they looked back at what people were searching for, people were misspelling desert. They were just putting,
oh my goodness.
Dessert, yeah, they're putting 2 S's in there. And so they were like, maybe, I guess that ultimately translated, maybe we should just make it Dessert Warrior.
They're like, all right, now they started with the name, and then they're like, well, how do we make that into a knife? And they're, well, what if we put sprinkles on it?
Yeah. So you guys, a lot of you guys might notice that you know, the lighting is different on my stuff here, and it's a little bit dimmer. Zoom unfortunately does not allow us to control like exposure and things like that. So you know, unfortunately the lighting isn't perfect. I can still show you guys, you know, some details. Let me zoom my screen up here. Yeah, you can. We're still getting decent details, but you can see the lights fading in and out. It's just going to be a product of doing this. Maybe I'll have to get some specific zoom, some specific knife guys lighting so that we get better visuals. But I think this is working out. So, you know what we should do is explain to probably the vast majority of people, you know, on my channel who don't know who you are, exactly how this all got started. I think that's
a good idea.
Yeah. So do you remember our very first, so quick backstory. How long ago was it that we first met? Was it like 6 years ago, or was it 5 years ago?
I would say, honestly, I think it was like 4.
Really?
Yeah, because you started I was at the dealership for about a year, and you started the channel at the end of that, so about 3 years ago. And I think we met at we met at the dealership, so it's about 4 years. It seems like longer than that.
Yeah, it definitely does. I can't remember. I don't remember our very first interaction. Do you remember?
I don't. I'm sure. I can't imagine the very first one was knife related, but it might have been probably fitness related.
Yeah, maybe. Or because we worked at a dealership together, so it was maybe, and you worked on the Ford side, so maybe it was me walking up going, I see you guys have a 14, you got a 14 F-150 Lariat out. Do you know where that is? And you're probably like, it's over on the north. It's over on the north side. It's probably just something super
probably.
But at some point, the knife thing, because I couldn't not talk knives with people, especially like if they're, because I had been there for a couple of years when you arrived. So I was like, in my subconscious, I was like, I got to go find out if that guy likes pocket knives.
That's like that was your first step. That had to have came up. Like I want to say Robert walked me around and was showing me around because he was the youngest one. Him and I were, and I feel like he probably introduced you as this guy's into lifting weights and knives.
It's just a basic. Just find like a basic foundational level where we have something to discuss.
Yeah,
it's funny. Well, so literally, and Ricky can add more to this from his side of it, but like when the channel got started, I remember where I was sitting. I was sitting in the Chrysler showroom at that cubicle that is closest to whatever's on the showroom. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I think I'm going to upload a video to YouTube.
Because why not?
Right. I had it was a Gen 4 XM18 for those of you. It was an XM18 3.5 inch, except it was a Harpoon Spanto, and it had my textured titanium scale on it. And you can go back and watch that. It's the very first upload. I still have it up. It was the thumbnail was my attempt at clickbait. It was like you know, how I justified $625 for a pocket knife. And I just sat in, I think it was a Toyota. I just sat out there and was like, I just really like it.
It makes me feel good.
It was my bell, man. It was, I honestly have gone back and watched that once, and I think that was a year and a half ago, and I haven't gone back to watch it because I'm just, not that my content isn't still awkward in some ways, but man, I was really like, like really trying to be like too cool and really dry because I wasn't sure if my personality would translate. But what's funny is that eventually what was the first knife that I showed you that made you think I kind of want to get in on this?
I feel like it was that first time you got that all black 0392, and it was like somewhere around like $450 to $550, and I was so confused as to why it cost so much, but it looked amazing. I can't remember. I want to say it was just all black.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the blade shape was.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It was, and that knife was never on the channel because I didn't start uploading until after I had traded that one off, which was really stupid, by the way. That thing was perfect, and I got that in a trade. Here's the reason why I latched on to Ricky is because when I told him the price, you had a very minor. Most people have a reaction that borders on offended.
They're like, you spent what on that?
Yeah. And so I didn't really have to I was like, basically, I was like, there's knives like you can go pick up at Walmart for $20 to $40, maybe and then there's a lot of stuff that, you don't see at retailers that there's a lot more that goes into it. In this case, it's American manufactured. This was back in, math 4 years ago. So it was back in 2016 or so. Or maybe 2017 now that we're in 2021. But there wasn't much. You were just like, you were more curious than you were upset that it existed. Most people are just, their caveman reaction is just like, but what, how? They just get
like,
mad.
But why?
Yeah. And then, I was like, but there's other good stuff that you can get. There's these other good brands that don't cost nearly as much. And I think, in fact, I know this. I want to say the first one. No, your first knife was a ZT.
Yes. I thought you were going to forget it there. It was the 0095.
Right.
Is it called a black wash?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the blade and the scales were the same black wash.
Yep. That was his first. He went, and we talked about that actually. One of the times that we used to do uploads together where we would just sit in a vehicle when it was slow. We were definitely not supposed to be doing it, but our managers knew that we were doing that, and they just didn't say anything. and we that 0095, I remember thinking, I've never seen someone jump head first and just be like, I'm just gonna take this guy's word for it. I've handled a couple of things, and I'm just gonna spend. What did you buy that for?
I want to say I got it on eBay between 180 and 195.
Yeah, which was great. I mean,
about 4.5 to 5 times more than I had ever spent on a pocket knife.
Yeah, I mean, but I was like, yes, because at the time it was just Rob who had decided to buy. Rob and then Greg. I don't know if Greg was after or before you, but there were a few guys at the dealership who just decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and this guy seems to be pretty serious about this. And so he got one, and then shortly after that, you made a bunch of purchases. I can't remember what they all were in a row.
I want to say the second one was a paramilitary 2. It was the Digi Camo and the DLC blade. I had that forever, just like the basic one.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say this guy was third, the 0393. So things escalated pretty quickly.
Yeah, and well, in there you had a 52-100 Mannix too.
Yep. Oh yeah. I can't remember where that was at in the lineup. And then I had like some Sprint paramilitary 2s and pair 3s.
Yeah. Is what you have out there your entire collection right now, or did you just put some up there?
So this is almost everything. I have a couple things that are supposed to get here. If I randomly leave in the next few minutes, it's because the mail lady came, and there's 2 things I'm really excited for, but I don't know if it's going to get here while we're on camera. But I do have one thing off to the side that I haven't showed you yet. Okay. So we'll bring that out if things start to get a little stale. That'll be our last resort.
Okay. So, and now what you kind of do is, because we are constantly texting each other with new stuff. Ricky just he has some stuff. He's just a full blown knife guy now. So you have stuff for a little bit, and then when you're ready for something new or something catches your eye, he trades or sells and then rotates things in and out of his collection. It's very, very similar to what I do. But we both share some tastes that are similar. And then there are a couple of things, different types of things that he likes that it's dramatically different. But yeah, he oftentimes will actually acquire stuff that I have never taken a second look at, and then he'll send it in, and oftentimes I'll review it, which is cool. That makes it fun and interesting for the channel.
Yeah, I've already burnt through a lot of knives so far, and we're only 15 days into the year. This week's been a little bit slower, but last week I would say I handled at least 8 new knives, and a lot of them I either sold or traded to get some other stuff. And now with the way the postal service is, things are just a little slower than I would like, but that's okay. They get here eventually.
What's interesting to me is how quickly you got into the upper tier. You have he's picked up a Medford Praetorian back a ways. He picked up a Direware S90, which really shocked. I don't know how you even found that thing.
That one was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and so I guess everybody's heard me talk about becoming a knife guy over a 10-year period, but you did what I did. What took me 10 years, you did it in, I'd say 2 or 3. What was it like from your perspective, going from just being introduced to not like knives of this whole underground world of knives? I say underground, right? From the perspective of where you were before we talked, going from that to where you are now, what was it like?
Oh, it was insane. It was insane because I feel like it seems like people kind of start or logical people, rational people. Their next step from like a Walmart Gerber or something like that might be like a Civivi. And these are like even a little bit higher end for Civivi, but they're around like $80. Like that's still a big jump from where a lot of people would normally be at. So jumping straight from there to zero tolerance, I feel like I missed out on a big chunk of the market that just doesn't like. I still really appreciate a little bit of the more budget series or budget lines, but I feel like I kind of missed out on that a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because now we're with the more of the finer things in life. But it escalated pretty quickly.
Oh, dude, yeah. And what's funny? You're like me in that you do drool over some of the really expensive stuff, but you return periodically to pick up budget knives or just weird, interesting things like the donut.
Yeah, like the Dessert Warrior.
Yeah, you go back and check stuff like that out because it's fun. It's like I think people worry that if they graduate into the mega high end, that they can no longer get joy from the other end, and it's just not true. I mean, I go back all the time and pick up weird, inexpensive knives just for fun.
The thing, I feel like I can actually keep the more inexpensive knives. When I get a knife in that's like $500 to $700, I'll play with it for a little bit, but then I'm not going to carry it usually because it goes through my head like I really don't need to have a $600 knife in my pocket. Because I'm not going to use it, and 2, I could definitely be spending that somewhere else. So I'll just keep them and hold on to them for a little bit, and then send them on their way and see what else I can come up with.
Yeah, it's fun. I think that's the thing is you're constantly trading, and the excitement for you is discovery. I mean, the excitement for everyone is discovery, but you love just kind of throwing a line out there and saying, "Hey, I've got this." What if you've got something that you're interested in discussing, trading, let me know. And I feel like that's like you found your excitement zone with that.
Absolutely. Like you have no idea what kind of offer somebody's going to throw at you.
Right.
Like it could be anything.
Yeah. What we should have done, dude?
What's that?
I didn't plug your channel at all, and we're like, Ricky has a YouTube channel. Another thing that I've discovered about my own audience is a lot more of you guys are actually into fitness than I would have guessed. I kind of kept that. I didn't talk about that a lot early on, and I still don't, but I was surprised to find out how many of you guys are into that. And Ricky has a YouTube channel called Garage Gym Gains, which I'm actually going to link in the description, so you guys can go check that out. But he is like, if you guys think that I get in depth and technical on knives, and I, like if you've watched my content and you've heard me talk for 20 minutes about the shape of a thumb stud, and you're thinking, wow, this guy's kind of overkill. Ricky does that with gym equipment, and he's got an amazing home gym. Given what's going on in the world right now, it's really beneficial to have that type of knowledge, and he does a really good job with it. So I'll invite you guys to check out his channel. The nice thing is, that's something that I find fun, is when Ricky unboxes gym equipment, knife guys and gals will quickly be able to spot the models that he's using when he unboxes it. I don't think you highlight him too much, because that you're kind of it's a gym equipment channel, but
yeah.
It's really fun to see you whip something out, and I'm like, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah, I normally try to say what it is, and then I'd assume I'm missing this gentleman's name. I feel bad that I can't remember it because he comments on a lot of the videos, but I would have to assume he came over from your channel, and we've had like 10 or 12 conversations about different knives. He actually is the one that gave me a lead on a brand new ProTech Malibu from a retailer. I think it was American Edge, that I was able to pick up. Already traded it, so I don't have it anymore. But that was kind of cool that just in the comments section, I got a lead on a knife that I was really wanting to try out.
Dude, that's awesome. Our mission is now to unite the fitness world and the world of cutlery.
We're going to force them together.
We're going to force
even if nobody wants it.
Right. No, it doesn't even make sense. People always ask me all the time, they're like, what's your gym carry? And I'm like, I don't usually have a knife in my pocket if I'm going to do something like squat.
Right.
That's not something I want in my pocket. The knife that goes to the gym with me is the little, get my keys. It's the, oops, sorry, I just shook my camera. It's the little K390 Ladybug.
Oh.
This thing
I think I need to upgrade.
Dude, have you had anything in K390?
I haven't.
Okay. K390 and Maximate are absolutely ridiculous. You guys can see this knife has not been babied, and especially the Ladybug, that thing gets tossed around. Both of them still have hair shaving edges, and that K390. Now, people are going to be quick to point out, like, well, it'll wear down if you are constantly running it against wood or really abrasive stuff all the time. I'm a casual user. I might get my pocket knife out between 5 and 10 times total in a week to do simple stuff. But my wife got me this Maximate pair of 3. Literally, it's been a year and a half. I haven't sharpened. I haven't had to do anything to it, and I can still shave with it. And the K390 Ladybug is the same way, and I've had that for about 7 months. Those are serious deals. And since we both live in Kansas, they're not stainless. You don't have to worry about corrosion where you are either. But yeah, dude, I would definitely recommend picking up some of this crazy high-end
especially
stuff.
The Ladybug, because I've been rocking the Bug on my keychain for a couple years, and it's fantastic. But sometimes you want something a little bit bigger.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's $60, so it's kind of expensive for a keychain knife, but it's also not expensive. You know what I mean? So, what else did I want to talk about here? What else did I want to ask you? Oh yeah, so I guess if you want to explain what you do, like what's a day in the life of Ricky?
Oh yeah, so I'll lead off by talking about my knife usage first, and then I'll talk about like what I have going on right now. I mostly use my knives to open my other knives. Like that's pretty much what it comes down to. Usually the Yojimbo, because I mean, how could that not be the best unboxing knife?
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
It's like it was made for it. But I run a gym in Kansas City. So right now it's a little bit different because we have our gym kind of downtown, and then we're building another one, or I should say renovating. We're not building the actual building. Another one about 20 miles away or 20 minutes away from the downtown gym. So I actually have been carrying the Yojimbo, and I'll use it to like open up equipment packages or pretty much just any still kind of safe task that I know I'm not going to mess things up too much. We have like utility knives and stuff I'll use for the serious stuff, but that's mostly what it is right now. It's a little bit of construction, which is weird for me. It's a little bit of a change of pace, but once that opens up, I'll just be pretty much just at the gym for most of the day. So I need to start dressing a little nicer so that I can actually carry a knife. Because right now it's like sweatpants or athletic shorts, and it just feels weird doing the athletic short carry. Like I know like Benchmades would be great for that. A pair of 3 would be fine. It just feels weird still.
Hey, but that's a perspective, because a lot of people, tell me that that's just what they're comfortable in. And since right now, so many people are at home, like for me, honestly, I put jeans on once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So now it's like there are more people who can speak on, it's people like you who are constantly, getting new things. And that's what you wear. You can speak on the benefits of, carrying a smaller knife in a situation that's like yours, or somebody who, wears similar stuff. But yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You're not going to put a Praetorian in your workout sweats, right?
No, that's why I look forward to going out and doing something, is just so I can like actually wear clothes and carry a knife.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not going to do anything with it.
Hey, I got to show you these real quick. And I've been showing them, like, by the time people see this upload, they will have seen my conversation with Jim McNair and my little, I'll have done like a little highlight kind of overview thing of some ZTs. So this is the new ZT 0762. Which, yeah, I kind of felt like maybe you would enjoy this.
That is very cool.
Dude, listen. So this is 8 inches and it weighs 2.85 ounces.
That's insane.
Yeah, it has a little, the blue parts, it's like a little titanium web liner that goes underneath the carbon fiber scale. There's a lot of milling. And then they have a steel liner in there to kind of add support. But it has the new TDS, or tuned detent system, meaning even if you're putting pressure on the lock bar, it'll still flip, which is super cool.
Dang.
I kind of felt like this would be your cup of tea, because it just seems
kind
of stuff.
Yeah, you nailed it.
It has that odd where there's belly, and then it takes a different angle right here. It's kind of like this odd sort of modified sheep's foot thing, and it is super thin behind the edge. I figured you would really like that one.
That's extremely cool. How much is that going to retail for? Do you know?
I don't know. And so, like, I'm sure people will have commented, because when I talked with Jim, he talked about retail, and then he made mention street price. So for anybody who doesn't know, when companies, when they talk about retail, people get all bent out of shape. They're like, what? When it actually gets to retailers and, gets down to what generally is referred to as street price, it becomes much more reasonable. And those are the prices that, people generally base whether or not it's worth. So retail, I have no idea. It's going to be high, but sure. I'm going to guess that this is going to fall into typical ZT territory, which is generally between $250 to $300. But Jim and I didn't talk about the specifics of the price on that one, so I don't know. The other one, and this is the one that I got super excited about, this is the ZT 0308. I thought it was a sprint run. No, it's a production variant. Black with the tiger stripe blade.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and it's got the sort of alligator skin texturing on the black. Yeah, I wish that it had released in this coloration, Yeah. It was tan and stuff, and it was okay. I like the profile. Yeah,
I feel like if they were going to do tan, that maybe should have been the sprint run, and that could have been the regular version, because it just kind of fits their. It feels like it fits their feel a little better. Their scheme. Can you do me a favor? Can you hold those up beside each other?
Yeah, absolutely. The 0308 is a giant monster of a knife, which is great. I love these massive, tank ZTs. But there you go. It's actually, I think the 0762 is actually like 7.8 inches. It's very close to 8. And then this guy is, the 0308 is 8.5, maybe something like that. But yeah, there you go.
That is thick.
Yeah, it's a thick boy for sure. And there's another one, the 0990, which I didn't get a sample of because they ran short on samples. That's fine. And those are the 3 new models for ZT in 2021 right now.
Can you imagine the sprint runs that are going to come out of that 0762?
I really hope that we see interesting, wild variants. And with that titanium liner underneath, I think it would be cool to see, like, if they did black, like a DLC blade, and then they did some odd variation of carbon fiber, and then maybe a different anodized titanium web or titanium liner underneath, just to give it a super striking contrast. I think that would be really cool.
That would be amazing. Or like even a DLC blade would be really cool. And then for me, if I got the clip and all the blue parts, essentially Cerakoted red.
Oh my gosh,
that would be about spot on for me.
Yeah, you're much more prone to having custom work done, I think, or that idea bounces around in your head more often, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Do you? I wanted to ask you about this. Are you like, because I'm not really sure what your thoughts are on the 80/20. Is this something that caught that you're interested by, or is it something you're like, it's neat, pass?
I think it's pretty cool. I'm kind of waiting for I heard, are they coming out in February? They might have some more production ones.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
No, go ahead.
I'm not trying to pay secondary prices for it. Yeah. I would trade into one for sure, but I think it's going to be something I try to pick up.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, actually there was a retailer here that had a few. It just like they showed it on Instagram. It was something to do. I can't remember the name of the retailer. They had a couple in 20 CV and a couple in 3V, and they were gone in like 2 minutes, but I keep telling people that I've heard that DLT will pick some up, and I talked with the Demcos a while back, and they didn't guarantee anything with me, or they didn't say anything official, but they said, yeah, there's more coming, basically. So it might be a good place to check if anybody else is waiting on stuff. But dude, I don't know. Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss or talk? Anything you were itching to talk about, or anything you're excited? Oh, our Evo Typhoons are coming in.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. Did you get your email?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you're probably group 2 like me. I guess there are 2 groups. You either got your email yesterday or you'll get it today.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I got an email yet.
Okay, so our Evo Typhoons are coming, and we got very close to the same thing. Ricky's is slightly different than mine, so pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be super cool.
We've been waiting since. Well, we thought we were going to get them in September.
It's been a little while. I honestly forgot that I had paid for it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I paid ahead.
Definitely. Oh,
because I totally forgot about it.
It's going to be worth the wait, though. That's the thing. It's like I'm not upset with Sharp by Design or Brian Nadeau.
Oh,
no, it's just an unfortunate circumstance, where everything is just kind of slowed down. But you know what? Here we are, and they're finally coming. So I'm happy for sure.
Okay, I've got something to show you. Not that things are getting stale. I just want to show you what it is.
Okay.
So as you can tell, it's a Microtech.
Okay.
I've had one of these before, but I haven't had this version, so I'm pretty pumped. You can probably already tell what it is in there.
Oh yeah, nice. LUDT?
Yes, but
bronze.
It's bronze, which I don't know how common they are. It also has a cool, let me get the camera to focus on here.
Right.
That maybe. Oh, there we go. It has an octopus bead on it, which is, I don't know if it's titanium or if it's metal for sure. It's not cool. Like plastic or anything like that, but that's cool. And yeah, it's black and bronze.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm pretty jealous about that. And I don't think those are super common. I think those are pretty hard to find. So I think that's a pretty sick score, man. I like that a lot.
I'm pretty excited. This one might actually stick around for a little while.
They're amazing. If you decide to use it, the edge geometry is absolutely incredible. It's so thin behind the edge, and the power on it is really good. I think it rivals a ProTech spring for sure.
Yeah, very excited about that. But that was the thing I had setting off to the side.
That's cool, man. I didn't know that. Maybe you'll have to send that to me so I can do a video on it.
It's pretty sweet.
That is cool. Well, guys, this is. Well, I guarantee you we went well over 20 minutes. I guarantee.
I didn't check the time when we started.
Whatever. I mean, like, this is what I wanted to do. Guys, let us know what you thought of this. For those of you who watch The Knife Guy or have been watching, and you kind of know my usual format, we will periodically have discussion topics, and then other times we'll probably just BS and talk about knives or what we got this week. Because, you know, I've come up with 85 different topics or slightly different topics for The Knife Guy. But there was a day where I felt like I might be kind of forcing it, and I don't want to do that. I love having, you know, natural discussions, and having another person on camera with me really helps. And Ricky and I we've continued to talk about knives even after he moved out of Hayes, which is where I live. And I thought we might as well have these discussions on camera. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So let us know what you think of this. I'm going to be doing this, and I mean, it's still Knife Guy. It's just going to be called Knife Guys now, and I'll make a separate playlist. So we'll start with episode 1, and we'll move on and keep going. And so that way, people who want to go back and watch the original Knife Guy, they can do that. And then people who want to check out the new, you know, 2-person or at least 2-person series can check out this one. But yeah, let us know what you thought, and expect to see more of Ricky and some other familiar voices and faces in the knife community as time goes on. Ricky, do you have anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
That's all I've got. It was fun. I'm excited for next time.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be pretty much it today. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and follow Ricky on Instagram at Ricky_Hughes. Right? Is that right?
That is correct. You nailed it.
Okay. You need a little card like me. Write it out.
I know. I didn't think of that. I should have. Next time.
All right, guys. Yeah, next time. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.